So the first thing you want to do is jump over to facebook.com/live/producer. That's going to take you to this page right here, and you're going to want to go ahead and hit select on go live. And at this point, make sure you have the webcam part selected to go live the quickest. And then we're going to jump in and select the correct camera. For us today, it's going to be the Blackmagic Design, and we're going to go ahead and select the Scarlett for our microphone. You can see the little preview right there. That's going to be the live preview. And then you can select where you're going to go live. We're going to go post on the timeline, go live now. I'm actually going to switch to only me. So we're going to have a private live stream here. And then you can up here give a title such as test live stream, and a little description like live streaming test. And then go ahead and hit that go live button. You get the 3-second countdown there, and then it is going to take you live, and you'll be live streaming directly onto your Facebook page. So now we're live, and let's jump in and talk a little bit more about some of the features that Live Producer has to offer. So the first area I want to talk to you about is how to actually go live using a webcam here on your computer. There's going to be a couple different things you can do. We're going to cover what that's like. So jump on over again. You're going to head on over to facebook.com/live/producer. That's going to be essentially your main hub. That's the quickest way to get to live video streaming from your desktop or from your computer. So you're going to jump there, and then once you're there, you're going to see you have a couple different options. We're going to talk all about the interface here. You can create a live video event. This is essentially a time in the future that you're going to create an event that's going to be all about your live video. This is a great way to get some promotion around it, to get some people interested, and to know exactly where you're going to be going live. Or you can go live now or automatically within 24 hours. This is really going to be the way a lot of people will get started, especially if you don't have a regular show or a consistent show. You're just going to probably want to select this go live now button. I also want to quickly just show this right here. So if we jump back to home, this is going to talk you through about some of the kind of your welcome. This is going to be essentially your little hub. It talks to you about how to get started. If you're just learning, you can learn a little bit more, follow some of the steps here that they have for you. This is also going to be the spot where your scheduled broadcasts and events are going to show up. But let's jump back in here. And then of course you have this spot right here, which allows you to choose where you're going to be going live, either on your timeline or on a page you manage or on a group you manage. Let's go ahead and we're going to select this. So this is going to be how you go ahead and create your live video. This is where a lot of the settings are going to be, where that you're going to select and get things adjusted the way you want. We're going to walk through each piece of this. So we talked a little bit about those. This is just showing how you're connecting everything, where you are in this process of going live. You're going to see here where we're going live. Again, this is on the timeline, but you can adjust that there. So you have the opportunity to adjust that there now. You can also go here. We'll talk about how to schedule things for later, but let's leave it on now. And again, you have an ability to select your audience. So you can go just to your friends, to public, friends accept, and I'm going to go ahead and hit only me, because we'll just keep this as kind of that private stream. Now, if you are going live with your webcam, that's where you're going to want to select this right here. And this can be an attached webcam. This could be, if you're using an app or NDI, this could be from your phone. You could use your phone as a webcam. Or like we are now, we actually have a capture card using a DSLR camera. You have that ability. Or you can even plug directly in and use something like the EOS webcam utility, which is specifically for Canon, that turns your camera into a webcam using just a USB cable. Many other camera brands out there also have that. So you can kind of select which camera you're going to use. If you're going to be like the built-in one, which most people would, you can just kind of see the quality that we have there. I'm going to go ahead and again, just because I have some of this stuff plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and select this capture card here, which is going to be giving me that DSLR camera quality, thanks to the HM and thanks to the EOS-R camera that is up there and plugged in. If you want to learn more, check out this video right here. It talks a little bit more about setting up a higher quality camera. You then have that ability to select your microphone. So you can see this is the built-in one. You can see actually right here, this little blue right there. you can see that's the sound waves kind of bouncing up and down, going up and down there, and giving you that ability to see if you're picking up sound. And you notice here with this one, I switched over to the Scarlett. That is a little nicer microphone. That's audio interface, nicer microphone. So you have that ability there. I can also go ahead and start a screen share. Let's go ahead and just show you what that looks like. So you can share the entire screen. You can share a specific window. Again, I only have Chrome open, so that's not much I can share there, but I can share a window. If I had other applications, I could share that. Or you can even share a specific Chrome tab. And so for this one, obviously I only have one tab open, but that's just an example of how you can go ahead and share your screen. This right here is the video preview. So this is going to show you what the audience would be seeing. And you're going to notice there is a slight little delay that is going to be natural. That's something that just kind of happens with the system. There's going to be some delays there, but nothing too crazy. Now, this is where you can go ahead and title everything. First thing to also note is you have a little checkbox right here to share directly to your Facebook stories or not. You can check it, leave that checked. This is where you can type in any title. This is where you can type in any description, as well as tag people. So if you have somebody you want to tag, you can do that there. You can check in at specific locations. You can share how you're feeling and different activities you're doing. And then you can also raise money for different things as well. And then of course you have your little emoji button right up here if you want to add a specific emoji to your live stream description. So let's go ahead and continue with the interface here for Facebook and talk just a little bit more about that. So this is the stream setup. We're going to cover streaming software in just a bit, but let's jump into the dashboard here. This dashboard is going to show you a few different things. One, it's going to show you that video preview, kind of right there. It's going to show you any event logs. This is also how you can expand the video if you want to see a little bit bigger preview. I don't necessarily need to see that. And then it has your insights where it's going to talk to you about viewers you have, reactions, clips that you've created, shares and comments. And then you can also remove this module or pop it out into a brand new window, which I do like, and of course you can collapse it as well. Then you have your stream metrics. This is essentially how you're going to see how healthy your stream is, if you're getting enough bandwidth, what your video resolution is, your frame rate, your audio bit rate, your video bit rate, things like that. So it's kind of that stream health center to know and make sure you're having a solid stream. Right up here, which I really like the placement, which also you didn't necessarily, if you didn't know, you can adjust the placement of any of these things. I tend to like just the standard placement that it has right now, but you are able to fully adjust that. You can have your comments here, and where this is your ability to refresh comments, look for any new comments, and then you can remove it, pop it out, which this might be one that you want to pop out. If you are at a channel at a level where you're getting tons of comments kind of coming through, you might want to pop that out just so you have a full window of your comments, and you can kind of scroll through that just using scroll through that nice and easy without all the other clutter that you have here in this tab. Another cool thing is you can directly, right from this dashboard, create poll questions. So you can ask a question, you can have your options, and you can go ahead and create that poll, open it up, close it down, and it's just a great way to get a little more engagement from your viewers. And then of course you have your post description right here, and then this is any alerts, like if your stream is, if there's something not with the bandwidth of your stream, if it's having some issues, this is where the alerts will pop up and you'll be able to see them down here. Now let's jump over here and look at settings. So we go into settings, we have a couple different ones. We have the stream settings. So here is your stream settings. Now I might recommend a couple different adjustments to your stream settings, especially depending on how you're streaming. So end live video if stream stops. This is something that I generally tend to turn off because most of the time I want to end it specifically. I'm usually using not necessarily Facebook directly, but I might be using a third-party integration or something like that, or even on Facebook I might be using some different cameras where the stream might go black, and then I don't want the stream to automatically stop. Had some issues with that in the past, so I like to turn that off. Feel free to leave it on if you you know, if you're pretty comfortable with that, if you know you just want a quick, easy way to end your stream, that could be a great way to kind of end that stream. Here you can adjust the latency of your stream. I tend to leave it on auto just so it has kind of that best experience for the viewers. When you start to go normal, or especially when you go low latency, that's going to be a little more difficult sometimes. You might get some buffering for your viewers, things like that. And I don't want that to happen. So I tend to leave that off, not turn on low latency, unless I specifically know I have a stream with a lot of interaction that needs to happen right away. Because a lot of times you'll have up to kind of that 20-second delay from what you say to when the audience hears that. So that's something to keep in mind, is that there is going to be that delay in your streams, and the only way to reduce that is to go to low latency, and then at that point it will be reduced significantly, but you could have some more issues with buffering or bandwidth and things like that. And this is how you can actually go ahead and decide if you want your stream to be able to be embedded on a website somewhere other than Facebook. Totally up to you if you think that's appropriate. A lot of times I think what can it hurt? So sometimes you would grab it and maybe put it on your website if you want to, say if you're driving people to a fundraising page or something like that. This could be a great way to grab that Facebook code and embed it right there on your web page. And then of course this little button, if you are broadcasting in a spherical video, I am usually not, and so I hardly ever turn that on. And then you can even unpublish your video after the live video ends. This is really good if you're doing something that's very time sensitive. Say you're doing a specific launch or doing only a specific Q&A for people who are there live and don't want anybody else to be able to see it. Don't usually turn that on. That's something you're going to realize here is generally your live videos will get more and more views after the video is over. Less people are going to show up live. So if your goal is pure viewership, you're going to want to leave it published, going to kind of want to leave it out there so that can continue to get views long after that live video is done. But you might have a specific reason where you want to shut that down and take that video off of Facebook after your live video wraps. So totally going to depend on your situation. And then here over in the corner, you have the same kind of camera controls that we've seen before. And then you have your little preview down here. This is kind of a little more of the view that most people are used to prior to this new update. So this might be something that you're a little more used to seeing. But now let's jump in and look at the settings for the viewer. So do you want to allow your viewers to be able to rewind? I tend to lean towards the yes. I want them to be able to jump back in that video and watch a piece again. Even while we're live, like maybe they missed something, they want to jump back quickly. I want them to have that freedom most of the time. Again, depends a lot on your situation, what you're live streaming. So you might not want to turn that on, but just something to be aware of. That is where it is. Auto captions. This is where you can turn on your auto captioning feature. Facebook does an okay job. They're not going to be 100% accurate, I will tell you that, but it does an okay job in terms of auto capturing your live streams. And then do you want to allow your viewers to message you? This is where you can kind of decide if you want to give them that ability or not. Then down here we have another little tab, the interactivity. This is where you can go and do just polls and kind of see all the polls. This is a great spot if you just want to focus on creating polls for your stream. You can go ahead and do that here. You can go ahead and also grab some questions and add some questions that people can answer right here as well. This is where if you have the proper equipment, if you have an encoder and you're using things in a certain way, or if you have a streaming software, this is how you can actually incorporate that directly here in Facebook. Not how I usually add graphics, to be honest. I'll usually use a third-party software, which let's jump into what that is like in just a second. But this is where you would find that ability if you're doing this exact thing, going this route in terms of adding graphics to your Facebook. So let's talk about third-party softwares and using those here on Facebook to kind of bring in your stream that way. That tends to be how I interact with Facebook most of the time. Is I want to capture the camera and do all the switching with a different software just to kind of increase the quality of that production. So I'm going to be using a software like vMix or Ecamm or Melon, something like that, in order to bring in all of the different elements, to bring in the different cameras, to bring in the audio, all those other pieces, and to stream directly to Facebook using those. So in order to do that, you need to grab what's called your stream key. So we're back here on the stream setup piece of Facebook. And instead, what we're going to be doing, instead of selecting our video source as the webcam, we're going to jump over and hit that streaming software right there. And what you're going to notice is that we have that streaming software. It tells us to copy and paste into that streaming software. So here is the stream key. I'm going to copy that. And that's what I'm going to be using in order to bring that into Facebook. You're also going to need to grab a couple other things. So I like to keep the persistent stream key off. I generally tend to keep that off. I will usually reset this time, mainly because I use these softwares in several different locations with several different Facebook pages and Facebook posts and things like that. So I wanna create that separate each and every single time to know exactly that I'm streaming to the right location. But for you, it might work to just have that persistent stream. So whenever you want to go, you just hit go live on your streaming software and you're going live into Facebook. You're also going to need this server URL. That's going to be the URL that you send your stream to, that you send things out to, and you're going to use this stream key as kind of your unique code for that. Now, I'm not going to do a full breakdown on some of these third-party softwares. I have several other videos out there. Here is a great playlist on Melon. Highly recommend checking that out. If you are just getting started, that's a great place to start with something like Melon. I am going to show you how to set this up right here with Ecamm. I'll show you how to set up that custom stream just so you quickly know how to. So I'm going to go here, make sure in Ecamm that we are selected as custom stream. And I'm going to go and add a new stream key. You're going to notice we have the Vimeo one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over and I'm going to copy that server URL and then paste in that server URL. And then I'm going to jump back over and copy that stream key. And I am going to go ahead and paste in the stream key and hit use custom stream key. And now we're ready to go live here through Ecamm. So everything, I'd be adding all the changing the scenes, adding all the stuff here with Ecamm and running things that way. And it'll reflect and send that back to Facebook Live. But other than that, everything else really is going to be exactly the same in the interface here. It's just a matter of where your camera source is coming from. So what are some other reasons you might want to be using kind of this streaming software service side, the stream key, versus going live directly? Because as you see, you can plug your camera directly into the computer like we were doing earlier and go live that way so you can have a nice camera. Well, again, that third party is going to allow you to do several other things. Also going to allow you to disconnect and disconnect your computer from your actual streaming device. So maybe you are using something like a live view and want a mobile unit where somebody is out walking around, and then you have a separate person who might be turning on the stream and creating any poll questions or anything like that. You could have separate people doing separate tasks. Same could be true even if you are in a studio. You could have one computer and one setup with switching software that is sending it out to the Facebook Live server. And then you could have somebody else in another room or at another location or even off in the corner watching the actual Facebook interface, Facebook producer interface. And again, they could be watching for comments, they could be adding poll questions, they could be adding other questions, they could just be monitoring the health of your Facebook stream that way. So it's a great way to kind of expand your ability by using that streaming software. Really what that streaming software does is just allows you to continue to increase the production quality of your live stream. There was one other little piece I wanted to note when you switched to that streaming software. One other service that you lose, or ability that you lose directly from Facebook, and that's because generally all these third parties are going to have that ability. So when we're on webcam, you're going to notice that you can actually go ahead and go live with others. And when you are on your streaming software, you lose that ability when you're using the stream key method. That is because a lot of these third-party softwares are going to have a way to interact with a guest in some way, shape, or form. Melon does, Ecamm does, vMix has vMix Call, so all these other ones tend to have a way to interface with people baked right into their software. But let's talk about it here with Facebook. What does Facebook Producer allow you to do? You can go ahead and click Invite Other People. And this is going to show you that you can set up your live broadcast very similar to what you've done before You can share on your timeline. You can share with audience. Again, we're going to just click only me, and you're going to click next. And then you're going to simply be able to wait for people to join your rooms. So what you can do is just copy this URL. You're going to copy that link, and you can invite anybody to broadcast with you, or you can start scrolling through some of your friends and Facebook friends and invite those people directly. Now, I'm not going to go in a deep dive on this feature. We're going to cover that in a future video, so be sure to watch out for that video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when it comes live. But I'll do a full deep dive into how to invite guests onto your Facebook Live. Now, maybe at this point you're wondering, how can you reach a wider audience than your Facebook community or where your Facebook page might be reaching? Well, the answer could just be to go to more platforms, go to platforms like YouTube and Facebook, as well as a Facebook page, all at the same time. And one of the best ways to do that is with today's video sponsor, which is Melon. So Melon is a web-based live streaming app, and honestly, it's one of my favorite if you are just kind of getting started but ready to jump up and add a few extra features. So Melon does a few different things, but what makes it so cool is just how easy it is to use. You can be going live to multiple different platforms in as few as 5 clicks. You're being able to go live right away. And kind of the way Melon is structured is that there is actually a studio that you can jump into. So rather than going into the Facebook Live studio or the Facebook Live producer, you can jump into Melon and you can go live and have things like branding and graphics, and you can bring on guests, which is a really cool feature. And then it allows you to multi-stream to many different platforms. It also has a really cool mobile experience. So if you want to be out on your phone, out and about, you can go live directly from your phone as well, which makes it really easy, especially if you're adding guests, or again, just kind of getting started and want to be able to use your camera or the nice cameras on your phone to go live. You're able to do just that. And with Melon, there is nothing to install. It's all web-based. And again, it's super simple to set up. You're able to go live in just as little as 5 clicks, which is awesome. Your guests don't need to have any sort of special software or anything like that. They just have to click a link and they get taken directly to a web page, and they're able to join you on that call. And again, they have kind of a behind the scenes room where you can bring them on whenever it's appropriate. So personally, I love the way Melon is making this live streaming simple for those people who are just getting started and want to maybe stream their podcast, or want to do interviews with guests, or just start going live and reach more people. So go check out Melon, learn more about it. I have a full playlist that you can click right here to learn a little bit more about it. But if you're ready to sign up, head on over to nickpolkuski.com/Melon. And thank you, Melon, for sponsoring this video. So I just went live on Facebook because I wanted to talk about one other feature that is available when you are actually live, and it's a really cool one and a great way to help increase the viewership of your Facebook Lives. So that here is on the side in the live dashboard. You can see that little distribution tab. If you click that and scroll down, you see clipping. And let's click on into there and talk just a little bit about what this does. So this clipping will allow you to create a video clip from your Facebook Live. So if something happens and you want to grab that last 60 seconds of your live stream, this is exactly what Facebook this video clipping is going to allow you to do. And then you're able to share that clip out after the fact with more people on Facebook, or download it and share it in other social medias, other ways like that. So let's say here I just went and said something really smart and really intelligent. I can go ahead and hit create a clip, and then Facebook is going to go and grab that last 60 seconds. You can see right there it has 60 seconds that it is going to go ahead and grab that. And right now it's processing, but once it's done, this will be available that you can go ahead and click publish on that and share your clip out into the world. You can see right now it just wraps, so I can go ahead and hit publish and then share. And it will share either only me, because that's what I have it selected on now, all the privacy. I can share to the newsfeed, I can send in Messenger, I can share to a group, share to a page, share on a friend's timeline, or there are more options even than that. So that's a really cool way to to get the word out if there's any cool pieces, cool segments that happen in your Facebook live stream. This is going to allow you to create more content that you can use here in the future. So say you have a weekly show and you wanted to grab some clips to kind of promote next week's show or promote this show, and people to go back and watch that full episode, you can grab some clips right in the moment with a one click of a button, which is really, really awesome. Okay, so we covered a lot on terms of going live right away and just jumping in there and going live, but I wanted to walk you through what the interface looks like for if you want to go live in a future date. So let's jump here. We're back on kind of that home spot where, facebook.com/live/producer. You get sent to this page. We're going to select still go live. We're not going to create a video event yet, but we're going to select go live, and then we'll kind of keep the webcam here. And we're going to go grab, so we have our EOS R, our Blackmagic design, and our Scarlett microphone. But then what we're going to do is everything else kind of going to leave the same, except this time, instead of going live now, you're going to select go live later. Now, the interesting little thing, and something that has kind of changed slightly over the several years that Facebook Live has been available, is that here, if you select kind of that go live piece in Live Producer, you can schedule your live date 24 hours in advance. So you can't go further out than that. You only have that kind of 24-hour window, but you can go ahead and schedule that time anytime in the future around that 24 hours. And then all you have to do is go ahead and hit the schedule live video. So you're going to go ahead and schedule that, and it lets you know that the live video is scheduled. Click OK. And now you're still going to stay in this piece, so I can go ahead and manually start that live video at any point. So say I wanted to start it early, I can go ahead and hit manually start live video. It'll start that live video piece. Well, let's say you close things down, you're about ready to go live, it's about at your scheduled time, so you want to jump back in and get things set up. Well, you're going to go again to facebook.com/live/producer, and it's going to take you here to this page, and you can click that home button. And right here on the home button, you're going to see your scheduled broadcasts and events. And you're going to see we have one scheduled right there, ready to go. So you can go ahead and click Set Up Live Video, or you can go here and reschedule the broadcast, or you can cancel the broadcast. So you have the option to do either of those right from there. Or then if you're ready to go live, you're going to hit up Set Up Live Video. Takes you back to this main page where you can go through all the settings, change anything, and you're ready to go live that way. But now we have one more section of this live producer to really dive into and look at, and that is how to create your live video events. So again, facebook.com/live/producer, and you can go ahead and create live video events. Select that, and that is going to take you to this page. This is probably what most of you are kind of used to seeing if you've been scheduling live videos in the past several years. This is more of the layout that you're going to be used to. So this section here is about your announcement post. This is where you can go ahead and jump in and select the date you want to go live on. With this, you are able to schedule a live video up to 7 days in advance. So you can see kind of that 1 week time period here. I can go ahead and select that, and I can select the time right here as well. And that's how you're going to be able to schedule that piece. Again, similar to what you've seen before, you can select where you're going to be going live. You can select the audience it's going to be going live to. You can choose to go live on your story or not by checking that little to share to your story or not by checking that little box. Here's how you can go ahead and select title and description. And this button right here allows you the ability to select the photo that you're going to be using for your post, for that live post, that scheduled post. It's automatically going to bring in your cover photo. So if you're happy with that, awesome, just leave that there. That's what this is right now. But you have the ability to select a different image, something that's maybe, if you're doing an interview, it might have you and the other person who you're interviewing, things like that. So you're able to select that a little bit more. And then you can go ahead and hit schedule live video and it will schedule that live video. And then you still have your streaming settings. Here in this corner, you can kind of see all those streaming settings right there. You have the same exact viewer settings. Again, just a slightly different layout is really what it comes down to. This is going to show you kind of that preview of your announcement. So we're going to have test live video, and let's go ahead and look, testing the live stream scheduler. And you can see how that adjusts this post here. And there will be a URL that once you go ahead and schedule it, you'll have a URL that you can then go share with other people, put in an email, share on Instagram or other places, other social medias that will drive people to this Facebook Live post so that they can click get a reminder for when you go live. But let's go ahead and hit schedule live video. The live video is scheduled. And once you schedule your live video, it takes you back to this page, which is kind of that go live page. That's kind of the big hub here for all these live streams. And of course, down at the bottom, you're gonna notice that you can enable manual mode. If you enable that, you're gonna be able to start it automatically earlier if you would like. I tend to like to have a little countdown timer, so often I will start the live stream before the scheduled time. So if it's scheduled for 1 p.m., I might start it at 12:50 and then have a little 10-minute countdown timer. Oftentimes, that's what I end up doing for those live streams. But one thing that it is kind of new is that you're gonna notice that you are able to still go live with your webcam on a scheduled stream. So that's kind of a neat little function. You can still, of course, use your streaming software, but you are able to do on a webcam. You can also go ahead and invite people, again, just like we've talked about before, which is a cool little feature that they're now allowing you to do here on the Facebook Live Producer. But now let's say your scheduled time is quickly approaching, so you gotta get ready for your live stream here. You're gonna wanna go again to facebook.com/live/producer, and then you can jump into that home little section there. And you're gonna notice we have our 2 scheduled broadcasts. This is the one that we scheduled further out, the one with the Nick Wolkowski little banner there. Mostly same, except if you jump in here, you can actually go ahead and edit the post. You can view the post, you can copy live video URL. This copy live video URL is the one you're going to want to share with people in, say, email or anything like that. If you want to get more people to your live stream, that's the URL you're going to want to share. And then, of course, you can cancel the broadcast, and this is how you tap in order to jump into that main page again, where you can set up your live broadcast. And that's Facebook Live Producer. If you want to learn how to improve the quality of your video, be sure to check out this video right here, and I will see you in the next one.